Reality of my show with your host Motembe Esther, and I'm always very excited to just be doing this. Goodness, I mean, whatever it is, if you feel that you love something, just go after it. Just give your all into it. Just show up, do it your best, show up for it, back it up, and just keep on going. So, on our today's talk, it's all going to be about healing my world. You heal your world. So, we understand that there are so many people who are dealing with like so many childhood traumas and so many pains and hurting, and we have so many cases of mental health issues and all that. People are so wounded, they are so broken, they are so hurting and all that. And today we just want to make sure that we take the initiative, you, me. It takes one person to make the difference, because I believe that the world can change. You can change the world. You can make a better place in this world, and it only starts with you. So we're not going to make a change like once at like almost immediately at a go and all that. Like everybody gets healed, everybody gets to just be healthy and all that. But if we take initiative as an individual, we just be like, I'm not going to be part of this. I'm not going to cause any other hurt. I'm not going to wound any other person. I don't want a generation to create another generation of or another cycle of people who are wounded. So it is just to a point where you have to know that at some point I'm hurting. You get to be so very self-evaluating and reflecting on your past and see if there are any gaps that are missing that you need to fill up, and some past that you really need to deal with so that you can move on, so that you can be a much more healthy person. So we childhood traumas, they can be so very detrimental. Like they're the most effective actually. And sometimes you might think it was retro, and maybe it wasn't that of such a big deal, and you try to neglect it. But later on, when you get out there, just like you keep on doing things that you want. Maybe for example, you want to gain attention, approval, to please people, to just go out of the way to keep people. You're afraid, you have that tension, you have mistrust issues. You don't like, you just like, even when people try to be friendly to you, just like, no, there's definitely something is definitely wrong about all this. So there's this trust issues. So if you find yourself having some unhealthy patterns of some things, you really got to dig behind, okay, on your past, so that you can be able to know the reason as to why you're doing this. Maybe sometimes you didn't get the kind of parental love and all that. So out there you'll be trying to, if any person tries to show you that interest, you just like, okay, now I'm going to give my all. I don't want these people to leave me and all that. You're just going to stick there. You keep on holding, you keep on trying to fight against all odds to keep this person. But in reality, it's you who's trying to run away from the truth. The truth is there, and it's all visible that you're hurting and you need to really deal with that. I believe that sometimes you'll just be neglecting. It's all neglecting, because dealing with the pain and with the past, digging past wounds can be something like so traumatizing. Just like, no, I don't know, going back there. It's in the past, let's leave the past in the past. But we have to learn from our past and make sure that we've dealt with it in the best way possible, and we have healed from it if there are any wounds, and we have lived every moment, just making sure that whatever happened in the past is not going to affect my future or my present, or to say. So if it's affecting your present relationships, and if it's going to affect your future, you really need to dig into it. So anytime you happen to find yourself there, you're hurting, you have those wounds, and sometimes they're there, but you want to avoid them because you're just like, I don't want to deal with all that. It's all gone, it's in the past, I'm overdone with that and all that. And then you proceed, and neglecting those emotions and those feelings, it doesn't really, it's not going to really help you in any way. It's actually going to expose you to so much danger and to so much hurt, and you're going to transform the same pain to somebody else. Let's say for example, you have your wounds, you meet somebody who's whole, who's at peace, who knows what peace is, who's healthy and all that, and you come with this insecurity of yours. You get into, and say for example, relationships with them, and then they start dumping the same thing to you. you dump the same thing to them actually. So you just be like you're hurting, and you start telling, you start exposing them to the hurt because you haven't dealt with those insecurities. Just like you don't trust people, and this person really trusts you, and maybe they are in this for the long run, and they are just, they are healthy, they themselves, they are healthy, but as for you, you've got your own insecurities. So you get into this whole entanglement, and you're just so insecure, you're just so, out of place, you just so, there's no trust between you. You can't trust this person, even if they try so much, even if they try to do everything out of the way. You're just going to keep on being like, no, 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 I don't trust them. I mean, even if I do, what if they do this and that? And that's a sign that you should really, really get to heal. Because by the end of the time of this whole entanglement that you'll be in our relationship, this person just be like, I've tried my best, and it seems that you really don't want my presence, and instead of we working this out, we tried to really be that person, but you're really pushing me away, so they walk away. And what have you done? You've already put in another seed of a wound of your heart to somebody else. And this other person now, if they don't get to heal, they're also going to have some wounds that now it's you who has put these wounds into them. And anytime they meet somebody, they just like, maybe I might try to love this person or to trust these people, but they also behave the same way like the other person behaved. So you've already created another cycle of unhealthy people, of people with doubts, and that's what we don't want. So to have a healthy, world, it all starts with you creating a healthy world for yourself. You be like, I know it's going to be discomfortable, but I've got to do this. I'm going to dig in, I'm going to deal with everything, I'm going to do everything possible to just make sure that I'm at peace. I've dealt with all my past. I'm a healthy being, and I don't let my past define me anymore. And by doing this, you're not just doing yourself a favor, you're doing a whole generation to come, your offsprings, and everybody that's going to be in contact with you. Everyone who's going to come across you, because they're not going to meet a toxic person, an insecure person, a hurting, a wounded person. They're going to meet a healthy person, and that is what we all want. So if you're hurting whatever childhood trauma, and there's nothing little about it, myself individually, I'll use my story. I really loved being kind of very alone. I used to really want to be alone, and it wasn't much of, like, it's not like I loved it, like it's where I always felt safe, because I learned not to trust people and all that. And trust me, it wasn't brought up by my family. My family was just so supportive, and they're cool, and it all came from classmates back in school. So, child traumas doesn't have to come from family, and sometimes parents don't even know. And they are always there for you, and you might just see as if it's not a big deal, but there's a seed that was planted then. So for me, I really reached to a point, I'm just like, I just want to be alone. I can't be around people. I don't want to be around people. Okay, because just a comment from one person just made me feel like I just want to grow up. I just want to run away. And a friend happening to just reveal some of secrets that I had really told her, and now she exposes them to classmates, and I'm just like, okay, why did you have to do that? And even if by then it didn't look like a big deal, but later on it really affected my interactions with people, because anytime that I make a friend, I'm just like, what if they do what the other person did? But right now, as I'm talking about this, I'm so over it. I've dealt with all those things, I've traveled over my past, and there's so many things I just realized that, okay, I didn't know that comment was really that big of a deal. I remember being made fun of that I was short back in school and all those things, and it could have been, it looked so literal and all that, but it really did affect me, like, so much, because okay, right now, because by then I was just like, why did they say that? And there are people that I really, really admired a lot, and now you're here making fun of me. So literally interacting with people, I'm just like, what if they also say the same thing? And now when I'm older, that's when I'm realizing, okay, it did hurt. But right now it's all about me digging deep into it, getting to know why that happened and how I can go about it, and how I can just make sure that I'm not going to let the past define me, and I'm not going to pass the same on to other people. So this is the whole point of you deciding to heal yourself. You get into the loop so that you cannot hurt somebody else, so that you can help break the cycle of so many wounded and hurting people. The world is hurting. So many people are wounded from abuse, they are going through abuse, violence, torture, and there are so many scars, and we really don't want to create more of that. There is a lot going on already, and don't add the list. So if you have that issue that you feel that it's unmet and you haven't dealt with it, face it off. Be courageous enough, come out of your shell, face it. It's going to be discomfortable, but it's all worth it. You need to heal so that you cannot transmit the same to other people, so that we can have a much more healthier world and environment, and for our kids, for our friends, for our families, that we, and even for our co-workers. Because if you deal with your past and your issues and your traumas and all those things, you're going to be a healthier human being, and being a healthy human being, you're going to attract the same thing, and your environment is just going to be an evidence of the same. So whatever it is that you're dealing with, don't neglect it. Don't feel as if it was retro. Just face it off. Just, even if it's retro, face it, and you come to realize that it might have looked so retro, but it really took so much, a whole lot of a very big percentage in my life. So whatever it is that you're going through, and even if you got hurt when you're older, when you're in adult, you interacted, you got hurt with people, be honest yourself. Don't pass it on to somebody else. If somebody has broke you, no, do not pass the anger on somebody else. Get to heal. If somebody betrayed you, don't go about thinking that everybody is the same. Get to heal, get to the root of it, heal. Take as much time as you need. Don't pass it. Don't jump into somebody else so that you can try to, to keep the void. Face it. Be honest with yourself. Take as much time as you want, because you don't want to do this. You can't pass the anger and the pain on somebody else who isn't responsible for all this. Whatever it is that you're going through, wherever the hurt, everything, I'm sorry about all that. But at some point, you've got to take responsibility. So take responsibility of the pain. It's okay. Whatever it is that was done, the injustice was done, yes, I'm sorry about that. But don't punish somebody who's innocent and who has nothing to do with all that. You can do it. It's all about your mindset. You just tell your mind, I want to work on myself. I want to go through this and know how to handle this situation. And so after doing that, you're going to be very, very healthy, and you're going to attract the same people. If you're wounded, you're going to attract wounded people. But if you're healthy, you're going to attract healthy people. And that is what we all want, to attract healthy people. And it all starts with you. I do it, my bit of healing, and you do it, your bit of healing from whatever it is that you're going through. And we do it, like everybody. If we just make this a cycle and take it as a personal responsibility, we are going to have a much more healthy community and a healthy world. And you're really going to reduce these cases of mental, depression and all that. You don't be a part of somebody else's hurt. Don't get somebody else into depression and into suicide and to so many hurting things, and into changing their personality, making them fear people and lose trust. Don't be a part of this and a part of that, actually. So get through, get your facts right, deal with that discomfort, and be a change into the society. Till next time, it was really an engaging topic for me, and I look forward to actually talking much on this. Healing. It's always my word, actually, because I really look forward to people healing, because I don't want to hear people saying that they don't trust people anymore, they don't believe in love God. That's really hard. So whatever it is that you're dealing with, do face it. And this is going to be an ongoing talk. I won't say this is the end of it. It's going to be really ongoing for a very long time. And I really look forward to even healing from somebody else and having them share the same thing. And I do listen to so many people. And that's why I'm saying people are hurting, and don't be a part to hurt. Don't be a part in hurting. an addition to so many other hurting thoughts. Don't add another person to the list. Don't use your heart to hurt somebody else. Heal, 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 heal. It's discomforting sometimes, but it's worth it. And it's so worth it. And it will make you feel relieved and will give you that peace. And you just definitely say that was a worth thing. Till next time, join us for more and more content lined up for you, because we are all about giving you nothing but the best. Bye.